What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Cap Room.
Yes, sir.
We passed the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
We about to see who really about it in these last 20-ish games.
But everybody got about 20 games left. I think this is the season's really started. We kept saying Christmas after All-Star. We are here now. We got primetime game. That's how I know the season's really back. I didn't kind of notice how strategic it was. Football goes off. They got the Saturday primetime game, Sunday afternoon game. We are lit. We got Mike Breen. We got some bang going on a good afternoon. We'll talk Lakers and Mavs because I am disappointed, but yeah, you know how we start this off. Capital Week, man. Capital Week. My Capital Week this week now is I saw a tweet about Trae Young, and it said Trae Young is a black coach killer.
That's
yeah. I was like, that's a nasty narrative. I can't have. I don't want that narrative. I think Trae Young is just a young man. He is just super young. He has $200 million. And I mean, he likes seeing Quavo sit courtside, and you know what I mean. He's shooting from 30. This thing, but I do think though that at this point they have used all of their assets. They traded 3 first-round picks for DeJounte Murray. They traded for Bogdanovich. They paid Hunter. They paid Collins. They paid Clint Capella. This team is locked into this, but we had 3 coaches and 2 GMs for Trae Young, and we got just the Eastern Conference Finals appearance that we don't know if we can recreate because the last 2 years have just been mediocre. They snuck in last year, beat up on the Cavs team, beat up on the Hornets team, got in and just got demolished by the Miami Heat, and then this year I got a stat here. At the beginning of February, they were 26 and 26. They had scored 6,057 points. They had allowed 6,057 points. They were 8th in the East. They're still 8th in the East. They were 9-9 against the West, and they were 17-17 against the East. This team is just middle of the road mediocre. I don't know what the answer is. If we're on Quentin Snyder. Quentin Snyder, I guess he is a stabilizer, but does Quentin Snyder take the ball out of Trae Young's hands and make him play off ball?
Mm-mm.
I think Trae Young is incredible. I do think he's an all-star snub, but there's a lot of things. If Trae's not going to play defense, he at least has to play off the ball for this to work. It doesn't matter what coach is going to come in there. And that's why I know he's not a black coach killer, because Quentin Snyder's going to have the same problems that Lloyd Pierce and Nate McMillan had.
That's the thing about this Hawks team is I said this last year, I just don't really know what other moves they can make without completely blowing it up.
Right, because Trae's the best asset. They've been trying to trade John Collins like the Pacers have been trying to trade Miles Turner for 5 years.
Nobody wants John Collins.
No, nobody wants John Collins. Nobody wants John Collins.
And so for that Hawks team, I'm just kind of like, they're not one move away from, all right, we're a top 3 seed now. You know what I'm saying? Like you're in a conference with Giannis, an amazing Celtics team, and then the Sixers who are playing really, really well right now. Those are the 3 teams. If you're making any moves, you're making moves to beat teams like that. And I don't think there's any move besides getting another superstar that's going to put them in that position. So I don't think the coach was the problem. I just think they don't have the weapons.
Yeah. Yeah, and who's the next star? Is it Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal? Does that push these guys over the top? Is it Bam Adebayo? We'll talk about the Heat later, but what is the move? All right, what's your cap of the week now?
My cap of the week. This is gonna hurt some fake basketball fans that we've gotten over the last 5 years, but I think the Golden State Warriors lose in the play-in.
What? Wow. Okay.
I think they go in as like the 8th seed and they lose.
So hold on, let's go. Let me pull up the standings here really quickly. Currently 7th. They're sitting at 31-30. They're half game out of 6, but they're only freaking 4. What are they? They're a game and a half out of 4th. But I mean, they could get that 5 seed still. I mean, I don't think they're gonna pass up Phoenix. KD is coming back this week, but oh my goodness, you think they can?
They're gonna drop. It's not gonna happen. They're gonna have a really bad 3 weeks, bro.
Wow, I don't want to count the defending champs out, like missing the playoffs.
Crazy. They're gonna lose in the play-in.
I just heard a crazy statement about, oh my God, this Warriors team could miss the playoffs twice after going to a finals the year before in the last 4 years. And I'm kind of at a loss for words because we're doing a contenders and pretenders thing today, and I kind of just had the Warriors out. Like, we don't have to talk about the Warriors. They're contenders. They get in. I don't think Memphis wants to see them. I don't think even this healthy, incredible Denver team would be an incredible first round matchup, especially from last year of how one-sided it was to now it would be just a complete dogfight. But
like, outside of Steph, who is not playing right now, who really scares you on this Warriors team? Does Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson scare you that much in this playoffs?
Klay Thompson has to. I think the way Klay Thompson is shooting this year is
he's shooting good, but is it really moving the needle like that? And Klay Thompson doesn't guard like he used to as well. That was the calling card for him. He was this great two-way guy. He's not guarding the best player on the other team anymore.
That's very true. But this team is still built around Draymond's connectivity. I think Andrew Wiggins has been incredible for this team. Wiggins hasn't played in I don't know how long. And I think that's going to be a big boost to this team. We'll see what Kuminga can give them, but I think the depth of this team this year is kind of scary. Dante DiVincenzo's been kind of here and there, and Kuminga's been even more here and there. So it's just like I do have my concerns about this team, but I think a healthy Warriors team going into the playoffs is still as scary as that Denver Nuggets team.
I don't know, man. I think they come in at 7th or 8th. And they get bounced.
Yeah. Man. All right. So, wow. Wow. All right.
Especially if they have to play a play-in game on the road.
So they're in that 9-10 spot and not 7-8 spot.
Yeah.
All right.
It's above me.
All right. Yeah, because yeah, they want to be in that 7-8 spot, so you only got to win one game at home. But wow, that's just shocking to me. I don't think so. Wow. All right. So I mean, we're talking Warriors. Do we want to stay in the West?
Yeah, let's stay in the West.
All right. Before we get to our teams, I think we talked about it last time. Jaws, we're good in the West statement. It's looking very bad, very bad. Yeah, and
I think there's a Shannon Sharp curse going on, man.
The Shannon Sharp curse may be real. And in this contenders and pretenders segment, I'm gonna just come out and say the Grizzlies are definitely pretenders. They're 5-9 since that Shannon Sharp incident. The big Steven Adams enforcer has been missing a lot of this time. I don't know how much of Steven Adams being the glue of this team that might be concerning there. Steven Adams is that much of the glue for this team to move.
But this team doesn't have vets, man.
Yeah. A team with no vets, and I think that's literally I got their Achilles heel being just their youth. They're too young for their own good. You know?
I mean, it's one of the things that makes them great, but it's also a downfall for them because it used to be like, man, nobody on the Grizzlies has been there before, so like they're just young and dumb, and they don't have any fear. You know what I'm saying? But then it's also like, damn, but these niggas have never been there before. They don't know what they're doing, and that's why I'm not sold on Memphis in the playoffs, or and even though Sacramento and De'Aaron Fox are playing well, I'm not really sold on them either for that same reason.
Yeah, and the Kings are another discussion. I think they might be a year or two away, but as great as they have them. But yeah, this Grizzlies team though, them becoming the villains all of a sudden, as they were just this lovable team, all his assets. Now they're these fucking villains. Dylan Brooks punching people in the nuts
and didn't back it up.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That Shannon Sharp game, if they come out in the second half and just blow the Lakers out, like "Hey, what's up?" Nobody says anything, but they came
Right.
after doing all that talking and everybody rushing some old man in a cardigan on the side of the court. They came out and laid an egg in the second half to a 13th seed in the West. So,
And surprisingly, they're still the number 2 seed in the
yep,
West because they were on 11-game win streak
had a
before
hot
this.
start. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's just like the jaw off the court stuff been a little bit of a distraction, I could bet. Yeah.
that nigga put enough guns on people, bro. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. Team Morant, man, come on now. I think the team would have been kind of perfect for Kevin Durant. I heard a lot of Kyle Lowry talk.
I would have loved that. I think they were trying. I think they were trying to put some picks together.
Well, we're kind of now figuring out it was kind of one-sided. Nobody but Phoenix was kind of in on this race. They're the only ones who got the call. But I think that would have been a great team to throw out all your picks, send Desmond Bain on his way, put some contract together, and now we got KD, John, and Triple J. We about to we really ain't worried about nobody in the West.
Because I feel like the Memphis is missing somebody that opens the floor for Ja.
Mm-hmm. Right. And as great as Desmond Bain is, I don't think he's that guy.
Yeah, I just think teams can just clog the paint as great as he is, and just clog the. And then even when he does have it going, I think that's also a good thing because if now who's the facilitator for Memphis if Ja's just going for 40?
It's supposed to be Desmond Bain. It's supposed to be Desmond Bain. And as good as Desmond Bain is, Desmond Bain isn't that guy. And I like that you even said clogging the paint on the team, even when they take Steven Adams out and they're trying to space the floor. Yeah. It's still, Josh shooting is getting kind of scary this year. You know what I mean? Teams just know we packing the paint on this guy. He ain't gave us a solution. It's like early Giannis stuff that we're seeing from him. So, and without somebody to take that pressure off of them, I just think the Grizzlies are going to be pretenders. They're not to worry about right now.
Got to give the Bucks front office a pat on the back for realizing that and just being like, oh, okay, well, let's build a team around Giannis that can spread the floor. You can't pack the paint on that Bucks team. Somebody hitting a three, whether it's Drew, Chris Middleton, Grayson Allen, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis can even spread out a little bit. Like they really realized like what they had on their hands and just they built the right team around that guy. So, hopefully somebody in the Grizzlies front office can figure that out.
No, for sure. And they've drafted well. They've compiled the assets. They still got all the picks. And that's why I'm like, they're still in the sweet spot, especially in the second seed in the West, even with the slump they're having.
And you're in the second seed in the West. That's a good problem to have if you're gonna be playing bad.
Exactly. We got John Moran. We got all these assets still. We're kind of good. Like they set at both trade deadlines these last 2 years with this really good team. And it's like, I'm appreciating the patience, but now we're getting to that point of like, I'm not worried. I'm sitting here going, if a healthy Lakers team sees the Grizzlies in a 2-7 matchup, it can get scary. It can get scary. And you don't have Chris Paul on the other end of a 7-2 matchup like 2021. Yeah. It can get scary with this matchup.
Yeah. And that's why I was just like, I don't know why Memphis didn't do something. I just feel like the West is so wide open right now. I just do not believe Nuggets, bro.
And that's why I think like if Kevin Durant sweepstakes was more open for everybody, then I think they would definitely been a part of that. But I guess you do sit and you wait and see who's the next angry superstar. And you just are just kind of playing a waiting game. And you talk about the Warriors. The Grizzlies do not want to see the Warriors in the first round. Yeah. They don't want to see the Warriors first round. Yeah. All right. You alluded a little bit to the Kings. The Kings had a great double overtime game this week versus the Clippers. Yeah, an incredible game, an incredible win.
Whatever two children were holding the sticks playing the game on that one. That was a great job. It was an entertaining game. That was horrible. That was horrible basketball.
Yeah. It was the second most highest scoring game in NBA history.
To 175.
Yeah. A lot of offense, not any defense at all.
And no shade to Malik Monk. I think he's very talented.
40 ball.
40 ball.
40 ball. He was almost out the league in Charlotte.
It's like, when does he do that?
Mm-hmm.
So I just like the Clippers. Like, I thought y'all was supposed to be. They were supposed to have Jordan and Pippen on the wings. Now this is the modern day Jordan and Pippen on the wing.
Wow.
That's what everybody was telling me. But they
Wow.
allowing 176.
Wow. Wow. I'll say this: Russell Westbrook played a lot of minutes in that game. He played a lot of minutes in that game, and even on the.
How many does he have? Like 7?
Yeah.
And he fouled out.
As a Laker fan, I don't think you could even speak on Russ at this point. I think you have to like just let him be him.
Yeah, I'm happy he's in a situation where he likes it and he's starting. And but I don't act like he's like some saving grace for the Clippers. Love Russ.
I don't think he's a saving grace at all. We were talking off camera.
I don't understand the move.
They made too many moves.
I think the Clippers did too much. Like, you go to a party and like you trying to you talking to a couple girls, blah blah blah, and you just got a friend that's just doing too much, just talking about stuff that don't nobody want to talk about, laughing too hard at shit that not really that funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the Clippers did. They did too much, nigga. Like, it's just like, who's getting all these minutes?
So before the trade deadline, the Clippers were already playing a rotation of Kawhi, PG, Norm Powell, Morris, Batum, Zubac, and Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
And Terrence Mann.
Yeah, and
Reggie Jackson was the only one subtracted from this, and they have since added, and I guess John Wall, but he was out of the rotation by then. But they added Eric Gordon, Bones Highland, Mason Plumlee, and Russell Westbrook.
You got 12 guys on that team that all think they should have the ball.
Mm-hmm. Especially Marcus Morris, as we're seeing late in these games, he is a bona fide ball stopper. He is not like a connected passer. When he gets it, he wants the ISO. He's pulling up. He don't know if it's coming back to him. And it's really unfortunate because right now Kawhi is playing incredible basketball. Kawhi is back.
Kawhi's great.
Cyborg more. The last 10 games, Kawhi's averaging 29, 6 and 6. He's shooting 52% from 3, 51% from the field. Like he and PG. I mean, and PG made an all-star game. PG's averaging 24 a game, shooting 38 from 3. I mean, he's PG. He's doing what he does. I'm not too worried about the Westbrook deal. I think late game, because I do think this team is a contender. I do think late game, we saw it the other night, last night actually, Ty Lue will bench Russ. He will bench Russ when needed. And I think that's big because Terrence Mann's the third best player on the team.
I think so too.
And I'm not even worried about that double overtime loss. PG was on a minutes restriction. I think this team, they are loaded, but they do need to figure out what 8 guys are we going with.
And who's going? Because I just feel like that Kings game kind of exposed them, bro. I'm like, y'all got beat by 2 dudes.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Norman Powell and Terrence Mann should have been the ones, the guards out there. Or even if you're not, you switching out, you want to go Batum and Morris, you want to go with Rocco. I mean, whatever it is. Oh, we didn't even speak on Rocco. They have too many guys.
Too many.
So they have too many guys. And it's up to Ty Lue to kind of figure that out.
Clippers is doing too much.
Right.
The Clippers GM, that's the type of nigga you cut off at the bar. You're doing too much.
I mean, he just gave Ty options. He just wanted options. All right, speaking of options, your Lakers since the deadline are 4-1.
Yeah.
You're on a 3-game winning streak. Just came back from down 27 against my Mavs. Impressive comeback victory.
I'm a good friend because I could have texted you a lot more after that game.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna let that nigga be, man. I'm gonna just be happy.
Because I was very upset. I was at work. It was a very trying time.
I didn't start watching. I went I went to brunch with the gay homie. So
okay.
I didn't get home till second half. And I was like, should I watch? I didn't start watching until the end of the third quarter.
It was becoming a close game by then. Okay. I'll see where you
when I saw they was 0 for 11 in like was the first half from 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that really showed you how bad the Mavericks are to lose to a team in this day and age in the NBA that made 6 3-pointers.
This was a very telling game for the Mavericks. We'll get to them next, but
Yeah.
this this Jared Vanderbilt. Jared Vanderbilt is the steal of the trade deadline.
Yes.
All the D-Lo talk. It's so crazy. I just was telling a friend of mine, I had about 8 fake trades with Vanderbilt in them to the Mavs before the deadline. Like I had a lot of it. It was a Vanderbilt Mike Conley kind of deal. I had a Vanderbilt market and dream scenario.
Yeah.
So to see Vanderbilt just wreaking havoc all game, especially at the end, terrorizing Luka, broke up that last play, hitting open shots. It was incredible. AD has a twinkle back in his eye. He dropped 30 and 14. The Mavs don't have a front line. We'll talk about them. But they don't have a front line. But AD was very impressive in that late game. He saw the mismatch on Luka, grabbed it, give me a little shimmy jump shot. Boom, that's it. That was the game.
That's all it was.
Yeah, I think
was the key to that game, man. Just the energy, the motor. You know, we didn't have that. We didn't have a guy.
Right.
I won't say we didn't have a guy doing it. I say Austin Reeves does make those kind of little plays, but he just doesn't have the guy athletic ability that Vanderbilt has.
Yeah. Vanderbilt is like some type of KCP Caruso hybrid. He's supercharged. He can play the 4 next to AD. He can play some small ball 5. He is incredible. And he can't shoot, but he doesn't have to out there. He has 17 rebounds in that goddamn Mavericks game. Just seeing some of the stuff. Yeah.
He creates offense, and he's somebody that if we make the playoffs, he'll be very valuable because Vanderbilt's one of those guys that just creates more possessions. And in the playoffs, that's what it's all about, possessions.
Yeah.
Win every possession or create a possession. And that Vanderbilt is going to do that. And so, I'm very confident in a 7-game series against anybody if our front court is healthy. I don't think any team has a better front court than LeBron, AD, and Vanderbilt. And then Rui Hachimura coming off the bench.
Rui has become a backup now. That Rui is now an afterthought. It's like, oh, Rui's our nice man. And I think that's Rui's best role. Rui is a nice man. It's like, oh, that's a dope nice man to have. They got Rui Hachimura.
I feel like it was like way too much. When he was the first addition to the team, I just felt like it was like way too much pressure on a guy that's pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
He's a lottery pick. He's still young. Yeah, I mean, he's still trying to figure himself out. I mean, and now you're just asking him to play defense, come in, play hard. You know what I mean? Knock some open shots down, and you know what I mean. Come out. Would not even make that many open shots. Because you guys got Malik Beasley now. I know he wasn't shooting that well in that Mavericks game, 3 for 14, but he looked great in that Warriors game right before that, and not too worried about him.
Over the last 2 seasons, LeBron has had the most threes in a game. Like he's had a couple of games where he's at 6, a couple games where he's at 8, and I think he had one game where he had 9. So it's like all LeBron. Malik Beasley's been a Laker for 2 weeks, and he's now on that list. He's had a game with 6. I think he's had 2 games with 6 threes. So it's like one of those things that makes you not feel crazy when you're just like, dude, we literally just need a dude that can shoot. And then they get it and it works. And it's like, that's what we were saying. We need to spread the floor. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I mean, this team looks completely different than it did a month ago.
Right. And we haven't even spoken on D'Lo. But now we're at a point, you just found out right before the pod. LeBron is hurt. That I heard a pop was real.
Yeah.
It said several weeks.
Yeah.
I'm taking that the Lakers have 21 games left. I'm taking several weeks at 3. We could be optimistic at 2, but 3 weeks is 11 games.
Yeah.
The Lakers have very small margin for error. They have to go at least 15-6 in this last 21. Yeah. You got a couple games against the Grizzlies on prime time. Another Mavericks game in there. The Pelicans gonna be fighting for the play-in game in there. They have a game against them in there. Ooh. How you feeling now? LeBron is hurt.
I'm not feeling good at all. It's like we made all these moves to have a team around a healthy LeBron, and now we don't have a healthy LeBron. It's like we fixed all the problems, and then this other obstacle came up. It's like it feels like being black in America, man. It don't feel good. Like, damn, I got over this hurdle, and shit, there's another one. So really, it's just, at this point, it's just like, damn, D'Lo, get healthy, please, because we have to have that pick and roll with him and AD. That's gonna be the base level offense right now. So we got to have him back so Schroeder can come off the bench. Because it's just, and AD is just gonna have to play like a superhuman. And this is what I hate is now we really gonna have to lean on AD. So if we do make the playoffs, do make the play in, how much is he gonna have left? So that's a scary thought. We'll see though. We're 2-0 after the All-Star break, 4-1 since the trades. I think without LeBron, this is still a decent team if we were starting the season today. With 21 games left in the season to make the playoffs, that's a lot of pressure to put on this roster. But crazier things have happened. We'll see.
All right.
I'm not very optimistic.
Yeah, it's scary now. It's very optimistic after that game, but after the LeBron injury, it's definitely, I'm on your side. It's
heartbreaking, bro. Come back down from 27 from a playoff.
And it looked like, oh, no, the Lakers are for real. There ain't nothing to scoff at right now.
I'll tell you, we can't have no more first quarters like that the rest of the season.
Yeah, the margin, like I said, your margin for error is very small.
Like they have to almost be perfect.
So the team the Lakers played on Sunday, the Mavericks. My Mavericks are 1-4 since this Kyrie trade. The late game jokes continue. We can definitely score though. We can put the ball in the basket. Like we can put up points. We can put up points. We can't guard a soul. Our front line is terrible. Bless the White Powell's soul. And bless Maxi Kleber, because everybody keeps saying, oh, when Maxi come back, Maxi Kleber is not the saver for this Mavericks team. They have a lot more issues than that. They just don't have the personnel. They don't have the horses to do what they need to do this year. And hopefully we get a favorable 3-6 matchup with the Kings. That would be super dope. Hey, I know we at least get out the first round.
So, like, what do you think the Mavs need? Like,
the Mavs needed wing depth. They needed a rim protector. I think a Rashawn Holmes type, a Vanderbilt type. Okay, Tim. I think a Rashawn Holmes type. I think a Vanderbilt type would have been great for the team. They need it. Yeah, you know who they need exactly? Tyson Chandler. They need Tyson Chandler and Sean Marion. That is the type of player they need. I hope Josh Green can become that type of player. But even as constructed, that's why I'm like, man, even if they stay in this seeding they're in, if the seeding stayed the same as that, give them that 6 seed matchup versus the Kings. Oh man, Luka would dog walk every wing on that team for 6 games.
Yeah,
maybe it might be a 5-game series. Kyrie get hot, get a 40 ball off. They not seeing us. No. But I just think you start seeing you go to a second round matchup and you might have to play a veteran Warriors team because that's why that Grizzlies spot is really tough because I think everybody wants to play the Kings, but just the same the Grizzlies. Like this young team doesn't want to see LeBron and AD in 7 games, slowing it down, running pick and rolls. They don't want to see the Draymond handoffs, Curry and Clay flying around, Poole getting hot. They don't want to see that, man. They don't want to see that. And it's the same thing with Luka coming down half court, running pick and rolls. He and Kyrie, you know what I mean, finding their rhythm in his 20 games. Because one thing undoubtedly is they're going to score. And we are playing with a different intensity. I did what I saw in the first couple quarters, but Jason Kidd's a problem. I think I thought it before the season. But
you did.
Yeah, Jason Kidd's a problem. And man, I have a theory that Ime Udoka could be the coach of the Mavericks if Kyrie stays. If Ime Udoka comes in because it's just I think Kyrie and Luka's a great foundation. It's a couple pieces we need. Go get Rashawn Holmes. I love me some Rashawn Holmes. I just think he's in the wrong place. Go get another wing, and this team be great. Add some depth. Lonnie Walker could be a Maverick. Derrick Rose could be a Maverick next year. There's some pieces out there that just makes the team better, and Ime Udoka obviously gets it. I think Richard Wood would be playing if Ime Udoka was the coach. I think Josh Green and Justin Holiday might have finished that game. And as good as I just think the Justin Holiday start was there's always this veteran thing of like Tim Hardaway wouldn't have accepted Josh Green starting over him, but Justin Holiday, okay, another bet. I get it for the defense, right? Cool. But because Josh Green makes the team go, I don't care what Austin Reeves says. All right.
Nah, y'all got punked by Hillbilly Kobe, bro.
Yeah, that flopper. All right, look, my Mavericks team. I'll end it with this. I think my Mavericks team we're pretenders. I don't think this is our year. I think if the Warriors, Clippers, Suns, that Suns one is kind of tricky. We're not going to talk about the Suns today, but that Suns one is tricky. I do think we still got some mental edge over.
I want to see what they look like with their new employee before we.
Exactly.
Because I think he's going to play Wednesday, right?
Yeah. Yep. And he should be back by the time that Mavericks game. I don't want to spoil my ender, but the Mavericks. The scary thing about the Mavericks is we only traded one pick. We get all our picks back this year. We would have a ton of cap space if Kyrie doesn't resign, but cap space doesn't work well for the Mavericks. We tried to sign Darren Williams and Dwight Howard in their primes in the 2012, 2015 summer. It didn't work too well. Didn't work too well for us then. So now we're looking at if Kyrie doesn't resign, it's tricky. And that's why I'm so unsure of my Mavericks. And I just think we're a year away. If Kyrie's staying, I still think we're a year away if Kyrie's staying. I think we're a couple pieces away. We don't even have a closing five yet. And I guess as we're moving to the East, I think the Cavs and the Mavs are so similar.
Yeah, why do you think that?
Both make the big trade for their young guys. I think they don't have a Luka Doncic, but they got a Darius Garland, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley trio that is fucking incredible. And I think the Donovan Mitchell trade is like, oh my God, we put all our assets, all our chips on this table.
Yeah.
And now the Cavs are looking at something. They're fourth in the East right now. They had a great start to the season, but this team doesn't have a closing five.
I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it.
They let Kevin Love go. We're gonna talk about the Heat later, but they let Kevin Love go. I think they kind of needed Kevin Love. Now, as Dean Wade's had some good games with his team. Lamar Stevens has had some moments, but we're signing Danny Green. I don't think we know who's the fifth man on this team, and I think they're still a year away because they traded Laurie Market and Collins. They traded some of their depth. You know what I mean? They get Donovan Mitchell in there, so I think they got to make some things shake. Karis LeVert has to get off their books at $18 million. Right. I know there was a Karis LeVert, Tim Hardaway thing going on, but that was literally because both teams was like, I hate this nigga, and I don't want him on my team.
I just want him out of here.
So it's literally like, and then Okoro had a good shooting month in January, but he could literally slump back down. I just don't trust if the Cavs were in a 7-game series versus the Miami Heat, and I know we're talking about the Heat next, but if the Cavs were in a 7-game series versus the Miami Heat, I am taking Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo in a 7-game series. Easy.
Easy?
Easy.
This Heat team with no point guard?
Easy. If the Heat get that 5 seed. So let's hypothetically say I think the Cavs should stay in that 4 seed. Yeah. I think they should.
Yeah.
But that Heat team could easily jump up. Brooklyn's gonna struggle down these last 20.
Right.
I know the Cavs want the Knicks. I would want the Knicks. If I'm Donovan Mitchell, I want the Knicks. Well, one, because I got an extra chip on my shoulder.
Right.
You didn't want to trade RJ fucking Barrett for me?
Right.
I'm finna bust his ass for 7 games. And y'all ain't got the horses to score with me because me and DG finna go crazy.
Yeah. That's why I don't think the Heat could play them.
And that's where I think you're wrong.
Really?
I think
who's stopping Darius Garland on that Miami team?
Well, you could throw Jimmy on him. See, and that's where it gets tricky because Gabe Vincent can guard. Gabe Vincent can guard. Caleb Martin can guard. Max Strus can guard. And we getting into that team next. Okay. Do not disrespect that Heat team. They were a shot away from an NBA Finals last year. I saw this team put Trae Young in a torture rack. I saw James Harden have fits, nightmares. Tyrese Maxey is still thinking about, God damn, that PJ Tucker and Jimmy Butler trap. This team is still that team. And I think Jay Crowder coming back on the team would have been great. I think Jay Crowder was a trial. We're not on the Heat yet, but I think that was what they needed more than Kevin Love, a Jay Crowder type. But yes, I don't think the Cavaliers want to see Jimmy Butler in 7 games. Jimmy Butler turns into Michael Jordan in the playoffs.
He does turn it up. I'll give him. I just don't.
Answer me this: who on the Cavaliers can guard Jimmy Butler? Jimmy Butler's not even a great scorer, but the Cavaliers is Evan Mobley. And let me say this: I saw Evan Mobley in person. Like I said, they've been having him guard Brandon Ingram, DeMar DeRozan. He's been locking motherfuckers up. That young bull is a monster. He is like that Kevin Garnett type. I know they're waiting on him to turn into this 25 per game.
Yeah, he's got
25 points.
He got to score.
He got to score because that's what's keeping them. And that's why when it comes down to a 7-game series, yeah, I know Hero is going to give me the 35-point, 40-point game in the playoffs. And I do trust Jimmy Butler to win me 3 games in a series. I do.
Really?
When it comes down to half-court offense, Jimmy Butler's a mid-range monster. He has a nice post game. I'm stronger than you guys. I know how to get to the line. I got my angles. What wing is stopping me? Isaac Okoro? Dean Wade? Lamar Stevens? Danny Green? Oh, I'm going to tear his knee up. Go do his podcast in the summer. Like, are you serious? I'm not. No. Evan Mobley's nice, though.
Bam's the best player on that team to me.
Bam is incredible. And we didn't even talk about Bam. Like, Bam.
I just feel like Cleveland is the team outside of the top 3. Cleveland is, like, put together to, like, stop a guy like Bam.
Because they have – and, look, Bam offensively isn't this savant. As great as he is as a passer, he is just like it's crazy. He's like this 4-man Sabonis. Not even like this 4-man Jokic. He's this 4-man Sabonis where he can operate out of the high post. He can pass. He can facilitate. You know what I mean? He can get you. He has a decent little post game, nice little right, little left hook.
Right.
But Bam, it's just defensively how much he could disrupt, how many positions he can guard. Like, I could see Bam switching on to Donovan Mitchell, giving him hell. He knows him like the back of his hand. Like, that's where I'm seeing that matchup out of like, no, when Donovan go right, we can get him here, Jimmy. Hey, Gabe, when he doing this, I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna stab at him, man. He gonna always like Bam is a defensive savant playing like a defensive player of the year. This is so crazy. You know, Ben, my friend from Toledo, Ohio, big Cleveland fan. Big Cleveland fan. I asked him when the Mitchell trade went down. I immediately, before we even saw this mediocre Heat team, I said, damn. But in a 7-game series, how you feel against him against Miami? His immediate reaction was, ooh, that's scary. This is a team that went to an Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Yeah.
And they just
Kyle
went
Lowry
to a finals
was a lot better last year, though.
And listen, I don't think Kyle Lowry is as bad as he's been, as washed up as he's looked. I think he would have been great getting traded to Memphis. We didn't even talk about that, but I think that's the same reason Kyle Lowry is going to do exactly what he needs to do when they need him in these playoffs. He's not going to be Toronto Kyle Lowry. But when we need some connectivity, when we need a guy in the right spot, because some of these games he's not going to close. He is not.
No, I mean,
Gabriel Max is closing. Yeah, Gabriel Max is closing this. But that we talk that IQ thing. It's like some some of the Rondo stuff when the bubble. It's just like when a smart guy gets out there and then, maybe he's been telling Eric, sit me. I need these knees to be ready to go because this team is that dangerous. They match up well against Boston still. They match up well against everybody but Milwaukee. And that's why we won't even have to talk about Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee would destroy this Heat team in a sweep because I think the main problem with this team isn't no point guard. And, you're right. They don't have an offense. when the going gets tough, it is going to be Jimmy Butler ISO ball.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like Bam just has to do too much offensively.
Right. You running the offense through Bam right now. And that's why, all right, as we getting off, because I think the Cavs are pretenders. I
wouldn't call them a pretender. They're a year or two away from the championship.
They're definitely not. They're not complete. I'm with you. They're not complete. They're not complete. But I didn't like them getting whooped by the dysfunctional Hawks the other day, though, either.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
That was ugly.
Yeah. But you're right. This is an incomplete team. They don't have any depth. I think that's their Achilles heel. They need a fifth man. They just need more bodies. They just need better bodies to come play with these young guys. And I think no matter who they play in the first round, because if it's the Knicks, I would love to see Cavs Knicks. I think Cavs Knicks.
Get Darius versus Brunson. I'd like that.
Cavs Knicks could go 7.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson is that good. Cavs Knicks could go 7. I would love to see Donovan Mitchell showing out in the Garden in his hometown, whooping that team on his way to go get whooped by Boston in the second round. I would love to see it because Boston, they play well against Boston. That was going to be a good series too. But
I'm ready to see Boston, Milwaukee. I can't wait for that.
We're not fast forwarding that. All right, we're not fast forwarding that. This Heat team. You texted me before, and you had some despise in your heart.
It's just like, bro, I don't see it. Like when you talk about the Heat, man, you brought up a lot of hypotheticals. Jimmy Butler gonna play like Jordan in the playoffs. Kyle Lowry he's gonna do what he need to do. What does that mean? He gonna do what he need. What stat is that, Corey? He gonna do
that isn't a stat. That's an eye test. Kyle Lowry, the OG out there, he telling guys where to be.
No. I just when it comes down to the playoffs, man, you got to score in the half court. You running the offense through Bam when really Bam should be getting the ball facilitated to him by somebody who can do that. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it come playoff time, bro. I think they could maybe get out of the first round. I forget who's like lower in the. I really haven't been keeping up with the play-in
on the East side. No, you too worried about those Lakers. Look, they kind of have it. They kind of have it easy over here. They definitely have it easy over here.
I think the 3 best teams in the league are the 1, 2, and 3 in the East.
Shout out to Philly. They're playing amazing since the January 1st.
I just think there's a major drop-off from 1, 2, 3 in the East. Whereas in the West, I feel like 1 through 7 could win the conference.
And I don't know. And look, that 8th seed, it's Atlanta's in there. It's not pretty over there. Atlanta's in there. Miami is the 7th seed themselves. Yeah. Atlanta's in there. You got Brooklyn. You got New York.
Yeah, it's ugly, man.
I just think Miami as a 6th seed is scary for anybody. That's why I don't think the Cavs want to see them. But Miami doesn't want to see. They don't want to see Milwaukee in a first round series.
Yeah, they better stay in that 5th or 6th spot.
Yeah. Well,
if Miami drops,
fight to get there.
Right. If Miami drops down to 7 or 8, they get an early vacation.
And see, this is my thing with this Heat team. They are kind of in the middle of nowhere, and the playoffs is fully matchup dependent. And that's my Kyle Lowry just have to do his thing. This is fully matchup dependent because the way they match up against Boston and the way they match up against Milwaukee is absurd.
Yeah,
it is absurd. The 2 different teams you can see out of Miami and how well coached they could be, and then it's gonna be a lot of half court ball. You know what I mean? It's gonna come down to the possessions is gonna be shorter. It's gonna come down to some bully ball a little bit in there. And even though Miami has maybe 4 players on this goddamn team, Kevin Love wasn't the answer. We were texting about that before. Was Kevin Love the right move. He wasn't the answer.
It doesn't move my spirit.
You know, but they needed size. They needed some rebound. They have been playing Caleb Martin at the floor, and they needed more shooting. Duncan Robinson's he might be one of the worst contracts in the league.
I forgot about him, bro.
Yeah. He's not even podcasting no more. He don't even want to talk. He don't want to be seen.
And I really haven't seen bro since the bubble.
That's the last time. So
damn, Duncan Robinson probably still wear a mask in public.
That's sick. That is sick.
What is like that? No, you ain't gotta wear the mask no more. No, I care about my safety, man. I'm wearing my man.
What is the answer? What is the answer for this Heat team? Because the Heat,
give him a point guard.
You were saying it was Pat Riley earlier. I just don't know. This Heat team will never blow it up. They like to fight. They like to fight to be in it.
They said come trade deadline, this nigga Pat was asleep. His old ass. They said he was in the office asleep, man. I thought they would take a. And it's interesting that I guess KD really wanted to go to Phoenix because Miami was definitely another place I thought would go for it. But yeah, I was like, y'all aren't good enough to think like we don't need to make any moves.
And that's the crazy part. Like the Heat will never blow it up. Like I was just doing some research. They've had 4 lottery picks since Dwayne Wade.
Right.
They have the Michael Beasley pick, Justin Winslow in 2015, and then they got Bam and Tyler back to back in 17, 18.
Yeah.
And I guess those 2 picks were really good because Justin Winslow's almost out of the league. I mean, he's playing well in Portland this year, but it's just like this. I don't think this thing will ever blow it up. That's where it's just like is Zach LaVine and that's what do we thinking about the next stars? Is Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal the answer?
I could see a Bradley Beal going to a Heat team like that because we talked about this when we were in Portland on the road trip. Bradley Beal, I think, is only going to be successful if he's put on a team that really locks in and like plays defense and has like a culture and stuff like that. I don't see a team where he's the number one guy being successful. I just feel like his 25 to 30 a game just isn't a winning 25, 30 a game. He's a talented dude, but like what's the win share on his points? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, what are those buckets getting you?
I could see Miami trying to make moves to go get, as I feel like pairing a guy like that with Jimmy and Bam would be crazy.
No, that's exactly it. You might be right on that. Just the guy that's out there to get buckets. These guys are going to do all the tough things.
Yeah, because I mean, that's one thing is like, come fourth quarter. Wait, did you freeze up?
No, I didn't. I'm just sorry.
I thought you froze up for a second.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I think they got to go get a guy that can just really go just get a bucket. Like that this Heat team is just, it doesn't move me, man. Out east, I think it's Milwaukee's champ. I think it's Milwaukee's conference to lose. I saw them play live, bro. That is a well coached and just well-oiled machine, man. Like Drew Holiday is playing the best basketball I've ever seen Drew Holiday play.
Yeah.
Like, he's like a legitimate closer, bro. Like he makes the plays to close games.
Yeah.
And they still haven't got Chris Middleton all the way back, and they look like the best team.
Right. 14-game winning streak. They've been winning a lot of these games without Giannis recently. I mean, we knew they were defensive monsters, but this team just looks incredible right now. Them and Boston, obviously. I mean, Marcus Smart is back now. Like we said, we alluded to the Sixers playing well. Yeah, I'm with you. The top of the East is kind of set. These bottom teams that we're talking about, we ain't really talked to Knicks, but they're pretenders as well. There are 3 contenders in the East
stop anybody.
and 2 real ones. Yeah. The Knicks, Shout out to the Josh Hart trade, though. Shout out to JB. I'm glad to see him doing well. He and Josh Hart, that's the future in New York.
I love Josh Hart. I wish the Lakers still had him. It's but I'm glad he's in a little spot that he likes.
The Lakers could still have that former 2018 team from before LeBron got there, and maybe could be in a better position than they are today.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You and these hypotheticals today, bro.
I'm sorry. All right. Is there anybody else you want to talk about in the East before we got to our game of the week?
Who else do I want to talk about in the East? We talked about Cleveland. We talked about. There's no point in talking about Brooklyn.
Yeah. Brooklyn's in purgatory.
We talked about Atlanta's coaching situation. I don't really care about any team that could sneak in the play-in in the East.
Yeah, right.
You sneak in the play-in in the East, you're just getting stuffed in the rim by Giannis 4 times in a row.
Yeah, get out of here, Chicago. I don't know why you picked up Patrick Beverly.
He said he's there to keep the Lakers out the playoffs. They're gonna beat them twice in this last.
Oh, he is silly, Patty. He just got a pod. We need to try to get Bat out to the live show. But all right.
All right. Speaking of our Chicago live show, I literally just got a notification. We just sold 4 tickets. Somebody bought 4. Shout out to them.
Shout out to the 4 piece. Shout out to the 4 piece. That might be my daddy. He said he's getting paid.
By the name, I think this was a white lady.
Okay, that's very funny. That's very funny. All right. So we didn't talk about them in contenders and pretenders because I kind of saved it for game of the week just to be. Yeah. My Mavericks this Sunday in prime time on ABC are playing Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns.
Shit.
This is this is already kind of a rivalry, and now that KD and Kyrie on opposite teams, this could be a 4 or 5 matchup, actually. That would be very scary for myself, but we're not backing down for nobody, obviously. But yeah, this Sunday on ABC, Mavs are playing Phoenix. Kevin Durant will be back. Be another good litmus test for the Mavericks, and it'd just be great to see what Phoenix actually has, because I'm a little scared of Phoenix. Not in the I'm scared to play them. I'm just like, damn, what do they actually have now after this trade?
Let's see what it looks like. I guess my game of the week will be this Friday. We got Grizzlies Nuggets. Let's see if the Grizzlies can turn it around against who was said to be the top team in the West.
I mean, they did just 30-piece this team last week. They that is I'm still. That's why I am excited for this game, because they did just 30-piece this team. So I am very excited to see how Mike Malone adjusts. Definitely, as far as the Grizzlies tip, hey, was that a real win? Are you guys really locked in right now?
They're just in a weird rut. They're just not playing good basketball. So I think on TV, you playing Jokic, beat them again. Let's see what it looks like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like that one. Shout out, because we ain't got no problems in the West. We ain't got no problems. We good in the West.
Good in the West. Yeah, the Lakers play on Wednesday. The Lakers play the Thunder. That's another team that's battling for a play-in spot too. So that's like a must-win. I mean, every game for the Lakers is a must-win, really. But I hope D'Lo can come back healthy. That's what he's not back. I don't really know what Lonnie Walker gonna have to step up.
It's Lonnie's time now.
Lonnie time.
More green light Lonnie. All right, man. We'll be back next week. We're getting a little better. We just came back after the trade deadline. We back here now, pretenders and contenders.
Getting closer to the playoffs. I think next week is very much going to be all right, man. This is what KD looked like in Phoenix in purple.
Yeah,
that's what it's going to be. So we'll see y'all back with the KD episode. This has been the Kaplan. Go Lakers.
Oh God. Let's root for some good basketball this week.
Yeah, I would say that too if I was a Mavs fan.